House Speaker Paul Ryan speaking to Intel employees in Hillsboro, Oregon earlier today on the importance of tax reform that will encourage growth in American countries, or American companies, that is, here in America. But, of course, as healthcare failed to get through Congress, is tax reform headed for the same fate? Or will Washington be able to get its act together and get it done by its November goal? In a Fox Business exclusive, we bring in Dan Berger, CEO of the National Association of Federally-Insured Credit Unions. Dan, thanks for joining us. You met with Treasury Secretary Steve Mnuchin yesterday to talk tax reform. Were you encouraged by what you heard?
Absolutely. We had an extremely productive meeting with the Secretary and members of his team. He was very engaged, talking about the process and things moving forward on tax reform. We hope that the President and Congress can get together and really move this forward. We need a level playing field out there, especially on the global basis when it comes to tax rates, so we can compete against China, the European Union, and other countries.
Also, very important for someone like yourself, it will be deregulation. We know the big banks complain about it, but on the credit union level, it must be absolutely smothering to be having to deal with all these regulations.
You're exactly correct. Since Dodd-Frank passed in 2010, we've lost 1,500 credit unions. So as community-based financial institutions, the regulatory burden has been absolutely tremendous. And the costs associated with it just continue to climb and go up every time new regulatory rules are promulgated. It's just a really costly process, and we're looking for some regulatory relief, and I think it's time to roll some of those back.
And how important are the credit unions, the small regional banks, to small businesses, or those that are just getting, starting a business? Often it's the small regional bank that provides the lifeblood to get it going, right?
That's absolutely right. The small financial institutions, we're Main Street America. For credit unions, we represent 110 million credit union members across the country, and we provide capital to small businesses. And I'm talking about those small loans that the big banks don't want to do, $250,000 and less. People who want to buy new trucks for their business, people who want to open a franchise, things along those lines. So we really provide small loans to small businesses across this country.
And how crippling has it been up to now to be able to provide those loans?
The rules and regulations that have come out of not only our prudential regulator, but mostly the CFPB, the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, they just keep coming, and they're just nonstop. We're looking for an opportunity we would like to see a commission instead of a single director head up the CFPB, so maybe we can start rolling back some of these regulations going forward.
How critical is tax reform to bring those tax rates down, do you believe, not only to yourselves, but to the economy as a whole?
I think for companies that operate, especially in a global environment, you're talking there's something like $200 trillion that are parked overseas right now because of the tax rates that we have here in this country. Let's bring some of that capital back so they can invest it in infrastructure and in jobs here at home. So let's compete on a global basis. Lowering the tax rates abroad allow us to compete against China, the European Union, Spain, other countries, Ireland, that have lower tax rates.
So how optimistic are you? Because let's be honest, up to now, it was a tremendous growth agenda that was laid out by President Trump. But we've been absolutely bogged down in, and now we're getting word that perhaps Mitch McConnell is still talking to the president. There was a sense that maybe they were banging heads a little bit, but Mitch McConnell saying, look, I am in touch on a regular basis with the president. We are going to try and figure out this tax reform. Are you, we've had many deadlines come and go with regard to the agenda. How optimistic are you that this can get done by year's end?
We're pretty optimistic overall that something can get done. Washington has a wonderful ability to create a lot of noise in the political environment that we have up here. But I can tell you, it's been indicated to us from White House staff, Treasury staff, as well as folks on Capitol Hill, those discussions are still happening behind the scenes. There's a lot of noise out there, and in order to get things moving, it needs to be paced down a little bit more, but conversations are ongoing. Deadlines, I can't tell you if it'll happen at the end of this year or the self-imposed deadline in November, but the process is moving forward. The Secretary of Treasury is committed to it, and with our discussions with him, he's committed to it, and it is moving forward internally with him as well.
We are keeping the faith. Let's put it that way. Dan Berger, thank you so much for joining us today. We really appreciate it. Thank you.